Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are fortunate enough to be here live for our May 2017 PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting, where today we are talking about document management. You know, we really never have talked about the enhanced functionality within PracticeMaster that was added recently, I believe in version 17. It might have been 18, but I think it was 17 that we enhanced document management. So we're going to talk about that. Mary Jo's going to take a deep dive into that because I'm going to show you something that's going to be quick. I'm going to show you how to export a group of emails that have been saved. Let's say you've got hundreds and hundreds of emails in PracticeMaster and you need to produce them or as part of a discovery request, or you need to put them someplace else. Well, we'll show you how to do that. So now, without further ado, I'm going to press all the right buttons and get out of here and get over to PracticeMaster, and we are going to talk about, well, should I say Mary Jo is going to talk about document management in PracticeMaster.
Do you know, Paul, I'm not sure if it's that they have to stop eating their Doritos and Fritos and Funyuns, or the fact that they're actually live talking to us, that we just scare them away.
Because nobody ever does that.
Nobody ever asks
I think
questions.
It's the Doritos.
You think
Funyuns.
that's it? The no crunchy snacks? Nobody wants to give them up?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So I think what we should do next time is we should start a poll, not to find out why, but to find out specifically which crunchy snacks are keeping them.
I know. We love it when people raise their hands and talk to us because we can answer questions really cool and get a dialogue going. Because chances are the question that you have, everybody else in the group has it too. So don't be afraid to raise that hand. We are more than happy to talk to you.
Or ask that question.
Or ask the question.
Don't be shy, but don't be afraid.
True. All right. So we're going to talk about doc management a little bit. So PracticeMaster does have a doc management program built in now. This was new 1 version ago, 2 versions ago. I can't even remember.
Well, it wasn't new. It was just greatly enhanced. It was there all along, but it wasn't very powerful before.
So now, well, we do have this doc management program in here now, where you can actually define document types, versions, all kinds of things when we save documents directly into PracticeMaster underneath that matter, so that anybody in the firm can go in and review a document. No matter where that file is, they would have access to that, just like when we journal our emails or things like that. It's all matter-centric. And yeah, I'm like, what are we doing here, Paul? Okay, are we done? Okay. So we are going to go in. The first thing that we have to do when we want to start using the document management portion of PracticeMaster is we have to set that up and tell it that we want to do that, how we want to name the documents, and so on. So to do that, we're going to go underneath customization. In customization, we have a second tab now that we can open. And there we go, it's being slow. So there is a Documents tab here now. And that Documents tab gives us 2 choices. We can manually specify which document folder that the documents are going to go to, or we can just have PracticeMaster automatically put these documents away for us in a central document store, we call it, and we usually set that up in the STI directory that will just have a Documents folder. And in that, we can tell it, so this first part, we're saying where are we going to store it, what folder, and then we configure how we want the folders to be named and how we want the files to be named. These 2 are our standard. So here we've got our folder naming going into a John Doe folder, so the name of the client, and then the client number and the matter underneath it. Now, remember when we're saving documents to PracticeMaster, this is all fine and good that it's putting it into a John Doe folder in matter, or client 123, matter 45, but we don't access it that way. We really don't, I don't want to say we don't care, but we don't. If you name this something else, where this is being stored and how it's being stored isn't as important, because when we come into PracticeMaster, we are just going to the John Doe matter number 45 and opening the document from there. We're not navigating out into the file tree like a lot of you are used to. A lot of times now we might be storing documents on the X drive or the S drive or the T drive, and some people might be storing documents on their desktop in a folder, or who knows where all those documents are. They're not together in a central location that everybody can get to them. And we may have different versions of that document in 3 different places because everybody is not saving the same way. Even if everybody's on the same X drive, I have found firms where they have, Susie Smith has her folder in the X drive, and Jim Jones has his folder in the X drive for this client, and they're still saving documents to different places. So we want to be careful with that. But we do want to tell it some way that we want to name this. So we're going to come into the configure, and we have up to 5 different folder levels that we can use. So we can say it's going to go in by client name, it's going to come in by client ID, and then matter ID. If I do the drop down here, we have all of these different areas that we could store documents in. Area of practice, category, there's several, how it was created, and all of these different hierarchy levels that will put it into. Paul, did you want to say something? I saw you pausing. Do you want something to add?
I was just going to interject that a lot of people do like the way PracticeMaster lets them decide how the folders are named and where they go and what the names are. And they do occasionally go in through Windows File Explorer. In fact, we're working with somebody right now who chose this over World Docs because World Docs doesn't give the documents names that you can make sense out of at that level. And
That's
so he wants to be able to take all the documents and all the folders intact, put them on a flash drive, and send them over to co-counsel. And he couldn't do that with World Docs. And so it is important to some, and it's really cool that PracticeMaster lets us do that.
That is good. The next section that we have to control is our file naming. So on the next tab, we have our how to file name. How do we want these fields to be? Do we want it to be the date, the description? Sometimes we'll have in here the client name or the user. There's lots of different things that we can put in there. So whoever created that created by could be in there. The client name could be in there. All kinds of things could be in that actual doc name. And if you think about this, like the file stamp, if you're stamping your document, where that location is or whatever, how that document is named is important. That could be, a part of that. So how do we want that to come in? And how you want it separated. So again, we can do up to 5 different fields. And down here, we're just seeing an example that if we have the date and then the description of the document, and that will be the description that you type in when you save the document. If I add in who it was created by, you'll see my sample will change and it will put the initials of that person that created the document. So this one, we're starting with the date, then the description, then the created by. And any different combination thereof that you want. Up to 5 different fields can be across that little name. And then how do you want them sorted? Right now I've got them with a hyphen, but you can also do a space, an underscore, a hyphen with a space, and then, and I highlighted that, a period, thank you. And you can go in and you can name the document that way. Now, this is important when we're doing automatic naming because we want to be able to just have it automatically follow the same instructions every single time. So I'm going to just say that these things that are in there that were standard are fine. Whoops, I'm not going to say. No, I didn't save it. I just said okay on that. So then in here, Paul's freaking about our demo data. Seriously. So then we've got a couple of checkout options that we can also configure right up here under customization. Are they required to do different things and so on. So this is all part of the initial setup back-end customization that you have control over right from the get-go. If you manually want to have it pop up and ask you where to save the document each time, you would use the manually specify. Otherwise, if you just, when you hit PM save and you want it to go ahead and just put that document away and name it in the structure that you have, we would just use the automatic. So I'm going to get out of this, and I'm not going to save it because I don't want to override our demo data. But I'm going to go into Word, and I am going to get out of this document, Paul, nice, and get in a new Word document, and let's just type a test document. And we are going to hit PM save, and I think it's up here. So we're going to save it. And it's opening up PracticeMaster, and I've said I wanted to have the auto naming, and it's already putting it into the correct place down here. It will. And so I'm going to just say test document, and then we'll put this under Purdue Law. No? Oh, demo data. Sorry, Michael Larson. Glad you said that. So Larson, Michael. I always forget we're in demo data. After you just told me I was going to overwrite your demo data. We have an option to put a contact in there if we want to. And then we have our doc types. Now these doc types are modifiable. You can add, delete, change, whatever you want to do to these so that you can make this list your own. I'm going to say that this is a complaint created by, and we were logged in as Ron, so it's automatically defaulting to Ron. And then this responsible can be the responsible attorney. So on this one, I'll just say that it's Dan. I can put comments in here if I choose, If I need comments, I can add them at this time. And then I can go ahead and add protection as well if I want to protect the document. And it's giving me all the information here. There's also a section in here for versions. So as I start saving, I can save documents as a second version, third version, and so on, and then list all the versions on this tab. So I'm going to save the document.
Mary Jo, Ken has a question. So while you're saving,
okay,
let's let Ken click in and.
Go ahead, Ken.
We have a question here asking of what about Wordperfect instead of Word?
Yes, Wordperfect you also can save in there. Adobe, any of the, if we go into the integration tab with our toolbars, any of these types of documents, Word, Excel, Adobe, Wordperfect, PowerPoint, all of these, and even documents that are already out in Windows Explorer, we can send to PracticeMaster, or we can do a PM save, and we can save them into PracticeMaster. So now I'm going to go back into Michael Larson. Is that all, Ken? Did I answer that question, or is there a follow-up?
Yeah. What about creating in Wordperfect?
Yes, you can. Yep, you can create a document in Wordperfect and do the PM save. That is correct. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Michael Larson to the Document tab, the client file. That can also get to this from Matter Manager, and I should have there's my responsible. This is a test document that I saved. And so it is now located right underneath that matter, and I can see what kind. I can sort this by type. You know, there's all kinds of different things here that I could see. You know, I had a complaint, so that's what I saved it as. So there's lots of ways that you can sort the documents once they're in here. So if I wanted all the complaints together, all the correspondence, the fees, so on, we've done that with Quick Views and Smart Tabs. But you could also sort by any of the column headings. We can do it by extension, your documents, and then just all the doc management. To open the document, all I need to do is go ahead and click on the link. And I don't know if I closed the document, so let me just get out of that. I think I did. So I can either double click the document or just right here in the snapshot, click on the link to open the document right from PracticeMaster. And I don't even know if I had put anything in I didn't. I just saved it as a test. I didn't even type anything. But that document is available then for anybody that can come in and look at this particular matter. So it does streamline things. Again, if you had Wordperfect or if you created a document in Excel, any of those things, anything that you can install your toolbar. Now, you may not have your toolbar in. If you're not seeing that little PM Save button, you'll just need to install the toolbar into Wordperfect, and then you may see that. And that's a user-by-user setting.
Ken has another question. What do you got, Ken?
We have a question here asking, what if all of your documents are saved in World Docs? Would they have to be would we have to move each of them individually into PracticeMaster?
If you've got World Docs, I don't know that I would even use the document management in PracticeMaster because you're already saving all those documents to World Docs. All you are doing then is going out to your list and you would be viewing your documents, your World Docs documents over here in QuickBooks. And I don't have, this is test data, so I don't have it on. But there would be an option here to just view your documents in World Docs. This is it for firms that do not have World Docs. I don't know, Paul, can you think of a reason why you would do it in both?
I can't. Maybe the person's asking, well, do we need World Docs anymore? And if we decide to get rid of it, how do we get our documents in here? And if that's the case, you can't just pull them over directly from World Docs because World Docs has given them a name that is their document ID, so that doesn't make sense. However, there are routines within World Docs to export those documents with their what we call long file names in a structure that could then be pulled rather easily into PracticeMaster because you could break it down by client and matter and even by doc type and pull it into PracticeMaster. And to do that, we'd be using the send to PracticeMaster, only we'd be doing it, and yeah, there it is, see right there. And so I could click on, let's say, all the documents within a certain folder that I want to send to a certain client, a certain certain matter, certain doc type, and I could just send them with a specific doc type to a certain client and have it go right in there. So.
And Paul, before you,
sorry.
I was going to say before you close that, let's say that you already have a bunch of documents. Let's say you don't have World Docs, and you already have a bunch of documents stored out on an X drive or something, and you want to move those documents into PracticeMaster and put them in a nice document store underneath this particular matter. You can use that send to PracticeMaster. So I could go into the John Smith file, into the matter 45, into the correspondence folder, select all of the correspondence documents, right-click and send to PracticeMaster, and then I could come in and give it all of the document information. So it would all be going under a certain matter. It would all have the same doc type of correspondence, and I could move those in batches over. Then I could do the pleading folder. Then I could do the, whatever you have out there. So that's one way that if you don't have, another document management system and want to start using one, you can start moving your active matters first and so on. And there's lots of different, orders and ways that you can do that, but that would be one.
Right.
Okay. All right, Paul.
Okay. Well, that's a quick bird's eye view of document management and PracticeMaster. If anybody wants to see it in more detail, they can always get a hold of me or Bruce, and we can give them a real demo. But we want to give people a taste of what's available that they may not have known about. We have a lot of clients that are still using the Windows File Explorer method of storing documents, and they have PracticeMaster, and they have all this in front of them, and they aren't even aware that they could be storing documents in there. Yeah. I'm going to talk about rescuing or exporting emails. So most of you know that you can take emails and you can put them into PracticeMaster. We all know that we can go to our mailbox and we can click on PracticeMaster and we can journal an email. And those emails end up in here, all ready to go, tied to a matter. That's great. What if you want them back? Because as you may have noticed, if you've done this, they aren't emails anymore, okay? They are not even that. They are just a record. They are a record within PracticeMaster. They're fields that are being filled out and stored in a record in PracticeMaster. And they are, the to goes in this field, the CC, the BCC, they all go into a certain place. The attachments get put here. And so you can't really, take this and give it to somebody, or you can't do anything with it. Now, you can view the email in Outlook. And so what that means is you can go ahead and create some sort of email that you will then forward or reply to, just as if it was the way it was before you put it in here. But what if you've got a whole bunch? Well, a lot of people, they see these things, they see these view email in Outlook or print email message, but they skip right over this and they kind of miss it. And if you hit that button, it's going to do the same thing that view email in Outlook does, only it's going to save it as a file instead of pulling it up as a message that's opening on your screen. And so if you take and mark a group of emails that you want to export, and you can do that, they don't have to be sequential, they don't have to be in a row, you can just control click on different ones and mark just those, or you could mark them sequentially with a shift click like that, or you can just do a control A and mark them all, and then hit export email as Outlook message. It asks where to put it, what folder would you like to put this in. You don't even have to have the folder created. I can create a folder called email under my documents simply by typing it at the end there. It says, do you want to create the path? And now if we go to my documents, there should be an email, and in it are all those emails. Nicely put together with the date that the email was sent or received, and then an underscore, and then the subject of the email. And so you can take those hundreds of emails that all relate to a certain matter that you need to get over to co-counsel, or you need to produce a CD to fulfill a discovery request, and simply create them really literally in a second. And then copy them. You could even create them directly onto the CD or onto the zip drive that you're going to email to, or that you're going to mail to the client, or you can put them in a folder and attach them as email attachments. And that's it. It's as simple as that. This is also how a firm that might be coming from journaling emails in PracticeMaster wants to get them into World Docs. That's another way to do that. We just talked about how to get documents out of World Docs, bring them to PracticeMaster. Sometimes firms move from PracticeMaster to World Docs, and they want all their journaled emails in World Docs. This is a good, quick, easy way to do that. And that's that. Next month, we're going to talk about DFIC, Data File Integrity Check. Mary Jo's going to take that topic. Some people do them and don't know what they are, so we're going to go into a little detail and explain what they are and how to react to those messages that you might occasionally get. Explain what it is and why you might want to do it if you've not been doing it. DFIC means Data File Integrity Check. It's something that you probably should be running every month or so just to make sure your data files are all in ship shape and discover any problems that you may have before they become problems. I'm going to talk about backups. No, sorry, that's tabs. I'm going to talk about opening a certain file with all records. Okay, you know that you can go into PracticeMaster, pull up a client, and see all the emails that you've sent back and forth relating to that matter. What if you want to see all the emails regardless of what matter it is? I'll show you how. And of course, we all know that this just would not be a virtual user group meeting if we did not take you to our website at attorneycomputersystems.com. Notice my emphasis on the last S in the word systems, attorneycomputersystems.com, and show you how to get back to recorded versions of all this video content. You are currently in our PracticeMaster virtual user group meeting, which is one of 3 virtual user group meetings that we affectionately call the water cooler. So we've got 3 live virtual user group meetings, Tabs3, PracticeMaster, and WorldDocs, plus our coffee pot webinars, which is where I, on a monthly basis, take an ancillary product like Pensoft Payroll, for instance, invite somebody from the company that makes the software to join me in a webinar. They explain how the software works. I explain how it integrates with Tabs or PracticeMaster or WorldDocs. So if you look at the detail behind one of these entries, like the virtual user group meeting for PracticeMaster, where we are right now, you will find a page that describes it, lists the next event. This will change in a matter of hours to show the June event, gives links to register for that event, 2 links to going to the same place. These aren't different links. These are the same links, just different ways to get to them. And then as you scroll down, you will find recorded versions of every other webinar that we've ever done. So here's the, I guess I must have clicked on the, did I click on? No, okay, yeah. That's interesting. I didn't remember that being the topic a month ago. This is a recorded version of a PracticeMaster VUG. There's more and more and more. And literally, we have years and years and hundreds of videos. Probably about, what, Mary Jo, 5 or 6 years of PracticeMaster, 5 or 6 years of Tabs, and maybe 3 or 4 years of WorldDocs virtual user group meetings. We also have our 2 pre-recorded video titles. We have the eBytes video series that Mary Jo records 3 of each month, 1 on Tabs, 1 on PracticeMaster, 1 on WorldDocs. Short little 2 or 3 minute videos explaining something really cool, very concise, very concisely explained. And then we have our longer format Paul and Mary Jo show, where either I or Mary Jo will take a broader topic and take a deep dive into that, spending 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes explaining everything that goes around that particular topic. So that's it. Everybody have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the month, and we'll see you back here in June. Thanks much. Bye, everybody.